Should kill two of his own children. Paul Vincent should not have been behind the wheel when he led police on a chase with his family in the car last year. His 10-year-old boys died in the crash. Investigative reporter James Stratton tonight digging into a flaw in the law with deadly consequences.
Very violent, horrific crime scene, Your Honor.
A finality for a family losing more than just a father in court Monday. A judge sentencing Paul Vincent to 35 years in prison and 32 years probation for leading police on a chase which killed two of his sons.
I promise you, Judge, I'm punished. Regardless of what sentence you give me, I'm going to have to deal with this for the rest of my life. I'm punished.
10-year-old brothers Paul Ison Vincent and Zapolian Vincent died. Vincent was picking up one of them from Minneapolis when police tried to pull him over. He sped away, driving 113.5 miles per hour before the crash. A court advocate read a statement from the mother of one of the 10-year-olds killed.
Over something petty, you took two lives, children who were loved.
District Attorney Sue Opper says Vincent chose to drive high with no license, marijuana, and an automatic weapon in the car when he sped from police.
He doesn't have a driver's license. He's never had a driver's license. He's had 10 or 12 convictions for driving without a valid license or driving after suspension. It's meaningless to him. He just keeps driving.
Vincent's non-existent license became suspended because he didn't pay his first traffic ticket. Then he continued to get suspension tickets and not criminal charges each time he was caught. A suspension ticket is a traffic ticket. The second no license ticket should be referred for criminal charges, according to state law. Vincent caught in the loophole for a decade until the deadly chase and crash.
It's hard to know that I'm the reason why my sons are not here anymore.
A 12 News Investigates tally shows that 17 people have been killed in the last 18 months in southeastern Wisconsin by drivers with no license and multiple suspension or revocation tickets. 12 News has continued to press police and state lawmakers about that loophole and a fix for it, but unfortunately the problem still keeps happening across southeastern Wisconsin. In Waukesha County for you tonight, I'm James Stratton, WISN 12 News.
The man seen driving the wrong way on the freeway right past Vice President Kamala Harris's motorcade once his charges dropped. Prosecutors charged Wayne Wacker with recklessly endangering safety for the incident last month. Wacker's lawyers claim he was too drunk to realize he was endangering others.
In order to establish criminal recklessness, they have to establish that the defendant was aware that his or her conduct created an unreasonable and substantial risk of death or great bodily harm. But there's nothing in this complaint that supports that.
Wacker said several times he had no idea he was driving the wrong way. He faces up to 10 years in prison. Nearly 2 weeks after the election, Republican Senate challenger Eric Hovde concedes the race to Democratic incumbent Tammy Baldwin.
I have heard from numerous supporters urging me to challenge the election results. However, without a detailed review of all the ballots and their legitimacy, which will be difficult to obtain in the courts, a request for a recount would serve no purpose because you will just be recounting the same ballots regardless of their integrity.
Hovde posted a 6-minute video on social media saying it is time to move on. Unofficial statewide results show Baldwin received 29,000 more votes than Hovde in the Senate race, but Baldwin will keep her Senate seat and begin her third term in January. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump adding a familiar face to his second term tonight. Sean Duffy, the former congressman from Wisconsin, nominated for Transportation Secretary. He served as the 7th District Congressman for nearly 9 years. He left Congress in 2019, citing family reasons. A hepatitis alert at a popular Milwaukee restaurant, the warning about possible exposure, and the support from loyal customers. Plus, the auto parts stores closing shop nationwide and right here in Milwaukee. And the option to stay warm in Milwaukee as we head toward the colder parts of the year. Several Advanced Auto Parts stores are shutting down in Milwaukee. Last week, the company announced it is closing 700 stores nationwide, including 6 in our area. You can see those locations there on the right side of your screen. As a result, 51 people are going to be out of a job when the stores close between January and March.